a terrified woman escapes a deadly demon, only to discover that the people trying to protect her have been hiding a horrifying secret all along. What follows is a nightmare filled with ancient curses, stolen unborn children, and a twist that completely changes everything. This is the portrait of nightmare. Let's get into it. So, at the beginning of the story, we see a pregnant woman trying to escape from someone in a forest. She is badly injured and also pregnant, so she can barely run. Eventually, she sits down beside a tree. She realizes that her water has broken, and that's when we finally see what she has been running from. The thing chasing her is a female demonic entity dressed in a long black gown. The creature slowly walks toward her, and the scene cuts right there. After that, we meet a painter named Bayou, who closes his shop and starts heading home. His house is quite far away, so by the time he gets there, it is already very late at night. When he arrives home, he sees the same woman from the beginning of the movie sitting inside a chicken coop. She looks absolutely terrified, and when Bayou notices the blood on her clothes, he carefully walks toward her. She is so frightened that she refuses to let Bayou come any closer. One important detail is that the woman is no longer pregnant, which means she has already given birth. Since she will not let him get close, Bayou quietly sits down nearby. The woman does not say a single word and continues to panic. Bayou places some food in front of her and starts walking into his house. Before going inside, he tells the woman to come in and get some rest. Bayou goes inside the house and starts heating some water. A few moments later, the woman walks up to the doorway with a few chicken eggs in her hands. Bayou gently takes the eggs from her, puts them back in the coop, places the hot water under the bed, and then goes to take a bath. The woman begins cleaning herself with the hot water. After finishing his bath, Bayou comes back and helps the woman change into clean clothes. We also see that Bayou's house is filled with paintings that he painted himself. Some of those paintings are turned face down. Bayou carefully cleans the woman's wounds, treats her injuries, and applies medicine to them. Then he lays a mat on the floor and goes to sleep. Before going to sleep, he asks the woman for her name, and she tells him that her name is Hujan. After that, both of them go to sleep. As soon as Hujan falls asleep, she finds herself back in the same forest where she had heard those strange sounds. The same forest from the beginning. There is a small house standing in front of her, and Hujan starts walking toward it. As soon as she gets close to the house, the front door slowly opens on its own. She can also hear the cries of newborn babies coming from inside the house. The sound becomes so disturbing that her ears begin to hurt, and she suddenly wakes up from the nightmare. When she opens her eyes, she notices that the paintings in Bayou's house, which had been turned face down, are now facing upright. Hujan sees herself in every one of those paintings. The moment she sees them, she starts to panic. She becomes convinced that Bayou is a stalker who's been secretly following her, because there's no way he could have painted that many portraits of her in such a short time. After all, only a few hours have passed since Hujan first met Bayou. Bayou comes over and tries to calm Hujan down, but she suddenly runs out of the house. Bayou chases after her to stop her, but during the struggle, Hujan falls to the ground and loses consciousness. Bayou picks her up, carries her back inside the house, and lays her on the bed. When Hujan regains consciousness, Bayou tries to explain everything to her, saying that he does not understand what is happening to him either. For the past few days, he has somehow been able to paint Hujan. He has never met Hujan before, nor has he ever seen her. Still, he is absolutely certain that Hujan came into his life for a very special purpose. He did not paint only Hujan. He also painted several other women. He has no idea what his connection is to Hujan or to those other women. Still, he knows that something strange has happened to all of them. He wants to find out exactly what happened. He promises Hujan that he will not let anything happen to her. After that, both of them go to sleep. The next morning, they head to Bayou's shop together. Bayou opens the box where he keeps all of his paintings. To his shock, the paintings of Hujan that he had stored inside the box have somehow changed. Hujan tells him that she trusts him. At that moment, Bayou realizes that something wanted him to meet Hujan. So, he asks Hujan to wait at his house while he goes to visit a shaman named Awan. We then see Awan performing an exorcism on a woman who is possessed by the spirit of her ex-husband. Awan successfully performs the exorcism. The spirit leaves the woman's body. The woman is finally free. After the woman leaves, Bayu goes to Awan and tells her everything that has happened. After listening carefully, Awan tells Bayu to bring Hujan to see her the following evening because she cannot say anything for certain until she examines her. Bayu returns home with a new set of clothes for Hujan. Hujan changes into the new clothes, and the two of them eat dinner together before going to sleep. Bayu is unable to get comfortable sleeping on the floor, so Hujan asks Bayu to sleep on the bed with her, and the two of them spend the night there. As soon as they both fall asleep, Bayu enters Hujan's dream. Whenever Hujan falls asleep, she unknowingly opens a portal connected to the realm of that demonic entity. Bayu and Hujan find themselves inside the realm of that demonic entity. That house is actually the home of the dark entity. It is the place through which the demonic entity is connected. Bayu realizes that fate brought him to Hujan because she can enter the realm of that demonic entity, and he is the one who must help her destroy it. The two of them step inside the house, and we see that same demonic entity standing outside the window. Bayu and Hujan are unable to see her because she is outside the house. The two continue moving deeper inside until they reach the main hall. Behind one of the walls, we see the demonic entity hiding. Right then, the hall door suddenly slams shut. Bayu and Hujan immediately wake up. Both of them are completely terrified. Since Bayu wants to uncover the truth behind everything that is happening to Hujan, he takes her to Awan. When they arrive, Awan looks at Hujan's hand and immediately understands when these strange dreams first began. The truth is, Hujan was assaulted and kidnapped. After she became pregnant, the men who abused her abandoned her in the forest. That was where the demonic entity took Hujan's unborn baby. That also explains why she was no longer pregnant. The dark entity took her baby to increase its own power. We then learn that Hujan had actually passed out while all of this was happening. When Hujan regains consciousness, Awan tells her everything that happened. She reveals that she and Bayu were once in a relationship. Back then, Awan became pregnant, but she did not want the baby. So, through an ancient ritual, Awan summoned an ancient demonic entity known as haunted Jabang Mayit, which means the ghost of a dead or unborn baby. People also call her Haidam because she wears black clothing. She steals unborn babies from pregnant women who have even the slightest doubt about their child, who feel no happiness about the pregnancy, or who simply do not want the baby. Whenever Haidam takes an unborn baby, it becomes as if that woman was never pregnant in the first place. The exact same thing happened to Hujan. Ever since that night, Hujan had no idea what happened to her baby. Now, Awan finally tells her the truth, that the same dark entity took her baby. Awan tells Hujan that Haidam has stolen the unborn babies of many women who had even the slightest doubt about their pregnancy. If no one stops Haidam, there is no telling how many more unborn babies she will take. Awan summoned her only once, but the dark entity never returned to where she came from. Instead, she continued stealing unborn babies, and killing and consuming them. Bayu tells Hujan that she has been through a great deal of pain, and perhaps that is exactly why God has given her the gift to stop Haidam, because she has the ability to enter Haidam's realm. Not everyone has that ability, and the only way to destroy Haidam is inside her own realm, not in the real world. Hujan asks whether she will get her baby back after Haidam is destroyed. Bayu tells her that there is hope, but Hujan cannot defeat this dark entity alone. That is why Bayu decides to enter Haidam's realm with Hujan. Right then, Awan begins preparing for a ritual. Outside, Bayu and Hujan spend some time talking to each other. During their conversation, Bayu learns that Hujan had doubts about whether she would be able to raise her baby properly. Because of that very doubt, Haidam took her baby from her inside the forest, inside that realm. A few moments later, Awan comes outside and calls both of them in. She tells them to lie down on the floor. Awan explains that until the ritual is complete, Hujan and Bayu will remain trapped inside Haidam's realm. Basically, this ritual works by opening a portal through Hujan into Haidam's realm. Without Hujan, that would not have been possible. She says that once the ritual is complete, Haidam will also be destroyed. Until then, they must keep Haidam occupied. As soon as Haidam is destroyed and the ritual is finished, both of them will return to the real world. Hujan is the key to Haidam's world, and without that key, the gateway to her realm cannot be opened. Until that gateway opens, the ritual cannot reach Haidam's realm, which is exactly why Hujan is needed. Finally, Awan begins performing the ritual. Moments later, Bayu and Hujan arrive inside Haidam's realm. The key has unlocked the gateway, and that world is now open. They find themselves in the exact same place as before. Inside Haidam's house, Bayu is holding a flashlight as he slowly moves forward with Hujan. The two of them hear Haidam humming somewhere nearby. Following the sound, they slowly make their way into another room. Suddenly, something snatches the flashlight out of Bayu's hand and turns it off. Inside the room, Bayu and Hujan see a crib filled with unborn babies. Meanwhile, Haidam is sitting quietly in the corner of the room. The moment Bayu sees her, he rushes toward her and attacks. But Haidam suddenly disappears. Obviously, this is her world, and she is a supernatural entity. So defeating her is not that easy. As for what I mentioned earlier about Hujan being the key, there is another huge twist behind it, which will be revealed very soon. Both of them become terrified when Haidam suddenly attacks Bayu from behind. Hujan immediately fights back to protect Bayu, but Haidam disappears once again. Even so, Haidam has already badly injured Bayu. So Hujan helps Bayu out of the house, and the two of them run into the forest. The demonic entity keeps chasing them, and we even see her severed head flying through the air toward them. Suddenly, the scene changes, and we see Hujan dressed exactly like Haidam, gently pretending to put a baby to sleep. A moment later, Bayu and Hujan realize that they are sitting outside Haidam's house, and the house is completely engulfed in flames. The ritual is complete, and Haidam is finally destroyed. Bayu and Hujan wake up, and Awan tells them that the ritual has been completed. She says that Haidam will never be able to steal another woman's baby again. After that, Bayu and Awan sit outside drinking tea. At the same time, we notice Awan giving Bayu a very strange look. Then, we suddenly see a disturbing vision of Hujan eating her own baby. A few moments later, Hujan opens her eyes after regaining consciousness. Awan tells her that the tea she drank had a sedative mixed into it. Hujan soon realizes that Awan has tied her up, and she has been placed inside a hole dug into the ground. Meanwhile, Bayu is sitting a short distance away, playing a musical instrument. Awan then reveals that Haidam could never be destroyed inside her own realm. To destroy her, they first had to bring Haidam into a human body. For that, they needed someone who could enter Haidam's realm, and they had been searching for Hujan for a very long time. Everything that happened was part of a carefully planned scheme because Hujan was able to enter Haidam's realm. That ritual was never meant to destroy Haidam. Its real purpose was to trap Haidam inside Hujan's body because only someone who could enter her realm could imprison her that way. Now you can probably see just how massive this twist really is. Honestly, when this scene came up, it completely shocked me. This was easily the biggest twist in the entire movie. No one could have expected Bayu to betray Hujan like this. The paintings, everything that happened, every single detail had been planned from the very beginning. Awan places a nail on Hujan's forehead, while holding a hammer in her other hand. She begins performing another ritual. Awan tells Hujan that her death will save the unborn babies of many other women. Then, using the hammer, she drives the nail into Hujan's forehead, killing her. At the same moment, Haidam is destroyed as well. Just look at Hujan's fate. First, she was assaulted. Then, her unborn baby was taken away. And even after all of that, Bayu and Awan used her to destroy the very entity that had ruined her life. In the end, the poor girl lost everything. At the end of the movie, we see an elderly Bayu and Awan together. Bayu is playing the same musical instrument he was playing earlier. Awan is happily dancing, which suggests that they are still together. They probably had children of their own, and perhaps even grandchildren. And with that, the movie comes to an end. So, Friends, that was the story of Jabang Mayit, also known as the corpse's baby. I hope you enjoyed the movie. What actually happened was that Awan summoned Haidam to avoid having an abortion. But once Haidam was summoned, she never stopped on her own. So Awan had to find a way to fix the mistake she had made. Eventually, she found a solution. The only way to stop Haidam was to find someone who could become the key to Haidam's realm. Someone who could enter her world. Only women whose unborn babies had been taken by Haidam could enter her realm. That was a very interesting detail. Now, you might be wondering, if Haidam also took Awan's baby, couldn't Awan have entered that realm as well? The answer is yes, she could have. The problem was, she was never willing to sacrifice herself. Whoever can enter Haidam's realm becomes the vessel for Haidam. Haidam possesses that person, and that person must die in order to destroy the entity. That is why Awan never chose herself. Perhaps before Hujan, Awan and Bayu had already attempted the same ritual with other women whose unborn babies had been taken by Haidam. Unfortunately, every one of those rituals failed. In the end, the ritual finally succeeded with Hujan. Haidam was destroyed, or at the very least, the portal to her realm was destroyed. There was also a scene where Hujan looked exactly like Haidam. That scene suggests that Haidam had already entered Hujan's body. The scene where Hujan was eating her own baby suggests that she had completely transformed into Haidam. Ironically, she had entered that realm to save her baby. But in the end, the exact opposite happened. As for the paintings Bayu made, he most likely painted them under Awan's instructions. Awan used to see those women in her dreams. The same women whose unborn babies had been taken by Haidam. That explains why Bayu's house was filled with paintings of different women. In the end, Hujan became their final victim. So, friends, that was the story of Jabang Mayit, Kuyang. I hope you enjoyed it. According to Indonesian folklore, this entity is believed to be a mythical creature. In fact, I have already explained both Jabang Mayit and Kuyang, which were released in 2024 and 2026. One of them is a sequel, while the other is a completely different movie based on the Kuyang entity. So make sure to watch both of them. You will find the links in the description and the pinned comment. Now, this entity is a mythical, nocturnal, vampire-like creature that is well known in Indonesian folklore. Simply put, a woman's head separates from her body, while her internal organs remain attached and hang beneath it. We even saw a scene where this entity's head was flying through the air on its own. When we saw that Hujan had become possessed by this entity, it suggested that she had transformed into one of them. During the day, she would appear to be an ordinary woman. But at night, once the entity took control, her head would separate from her body, turning her into a terrifying creature that preyed on people, especially unborn babies. The biggest thing is that this Kuyang entity transforms only at night. Basically, she feeds on blood, unborn babies, or pregnant women. Many women even practice black magic to willingly invite this entity into their bodies, so they can gain supernatural powers and eternal youth. I hope you now have a much better understanding of this movie, as well as the folklore and the entity behind it. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, stay safe and stay happy.